Hey, good morning, everybody. Just want to say thanks again for another day of great support. We're growing pretty big. I'm happy with the movement of it so far, but we got a lot of work to do. Thank you for the comments yesterday on the thing about what we miss about America the most. A lot of good points in there. A lot of things we need to get back to with the grassroots of this country. There's a lot of work that we got to do. People are starting to think that I'm trying to become a political party. I'm not trying to become a political party. If it does come to that, then I'm all for it, but that's not what my goals are in this whole thing. My goals in this are to give as much encouragement to bring our people together so we can combat the manipulation, the greed, the thievery, the stomping on our freedoms from the rich and elite. If other things come from it, then I'm all for it. I'm all about being a leader, and I'll do my damnedest to do what I can with it. But one of the things that we've been talking about is how the system is set up. We've been talking about how the system is set up to divide. Well, the system is also set up for you to not be able to take care of yourself. They have the system built to where you have to rely on the government for everything. Because if you have to rely on the system, you're not going to fight the system. You're just going to go along with the system because that's what feeds you. And that's what gets you through your day. So the less we keep having to rely on the system and the government for our everyday needs, that's our best way of contributing to stop feeding the machine. One-day blackouts are a good idea. But an everyday stopping of buying pointless goods that we can provide for ourselves is going to give a bigger hit. Me and my wife homestead. We refuse to rely on the government for anything. We grow our own food. We raise our own food. We pretty much provide for everything ourselves. We're working on our own water system, getting our own fresh water system. It's so bad that you can't even collect rain. It's illegal to collect rainwater. That's how sickening this government is. But we shouldn't have to pay for water anyways. That's a free given right to us by God. It was put here on this earth. I don't understand why we have to pay for water. So that's why we're saying we're not paying for water no more. We have water on our own property, and we are going to take that water and turn it into a fresh water system ourselves and not have to pay the government for it. It's the same thing with power. When you can create your own power from the sun, the wind, and water, why are we paying companies to deliver us power? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So a lot of people are starting to just buy land and harvest the trees off the land and clear the land and build their house with that instead of going and buying all the wood that's already ready for you, because again, then you're paying taxes, the government's making money off of that, and that's what we don't want. And that way people are not having mortgages on houses. Because this is the thing, with our mortgage, okay, there's only like a fifth of what we pay goes towards the principal of the house. And this is why you end up having to pay for your house for your entire life. Because the government is making you, and all them rich insurance companies and all them lobbyists on top are all making bank off of us having to have a house and a place to live, which to me is sickening. It is absolutely sickening. And just look at the size and money these houses are now today, all for luxury and convenience, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's a lifelong of taxes. That's a lifelong of fees that you're paying to the government and the rich elite. So people are trying to find a way to get away from that, because to me that's sickening. And I'm hoping that I can get this into people's head, that how sick it is and what we're charged to pay, and what we don't even have to pay for, we're continuing to pay for. So these, to me, are all ways where we can stop contributing to the machine. Because the more we buy that we don't need and that we can provide for ourselves, the more we're feeding into this machine. The more money we feed into this machine, the more it's turning against us and making it much harder for us. And all we're doing is lining their pockets. So we have to get back to the grassroots of just needing the basic necessities to get by. Like, there's nothing wrong with having some things to have you have fun in your life. Like that, it's our lives, we're allowed to have what fun we want with it. But just keep in mind as you're complaining about how much we pay in taxes and how much money these people and how rich these people on top are. Each time you're going and buying something that you don't need, you're contributing to that. So, like I said, this is all on both sides of the aisle that this has gotten set up with. And I've gotten told by people, and I get it. I get it. Not all 535 are bad. But there's very select few. Maybe 5 out of the entire 535. That's not a very good ratio. But even them 5, they've never called out. Why haven't they called out and stood up and said, where's the treason charges? Why haven't they called out and say, why aren't we investigating these people that are taking this money? Usually people who don't call out for something like that have something to hide as well. I'm not saying they do. So don't attack me on that. That's just my personal opinion, and that's what we're supposed to be able to have nowadays. But there's just something fishy about the fact that they're not calling for investigations. You're in Congress. You should be able to have an investigation started by somebody. You know what I mean? And if they don't want to do the investigations, then us people will do the investigations. That's all I'm trying to say, is they're not doing enough to have these people investigated and removed from Congress and power. That's my only thing. I'm not saying that I don't like them. I'm not saying that they're taking money from places they're not supposed to be taken from. I'm just saying they're not doing enough to stand up for us. And that's what we need, is people to stand up for us. And that's where someone like me comes in. And someone like a lot of the other ones that are starting to stand up and finally voice our opinions to be able to get people back together. Because we need a wall. We need a wall, or this is just going to continue to get worse. Bridging this divide is going to be difficult, and we're starting it. A lot more people are coming together from both sides, and it's refreshing, and it's very refreshing. The messages I'm getting from people thanking me for helping bridge the gap, telling me I have a knack for this and that I have a voice for this. I've always been a quiet fellow. I never thought I'd be somebody that had the voice to bring people together and have reason. But apparently I do. So I'm going to ride it, and I'm going to do everything I can. Now that I have people behind me and pushing me to help bring this message out and to bring our people together, the more people we got, the stronger we're going to be. And I ain't never going to stop talking. So God bless and much love, everybody.